Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for April 22nd, 2019. Let's start off here with the Qs. Qs up. Looks like we got a little bit of a bad tick here, so just ignore that big topping tail. It's not going to make much of a difference here based on our bias going into tomorrow, which remains bullish. And same with the SPY remaining bullish. We did notice that there were times where the SPY and the IWM looked a little bit weaker, but they were going into support, and so we really didn't have even a good opportunity or a sound case to switch to a bearish bias. And we've seen this happen before. Someone asked me in the room just before I was wrapping up for the day, to go over the market. And really there hasn't been much to change here since the end of March. So it's going to be March 27th and 28th. So if you recall, on these days here, if we go back to these days, we were looking like we may get a bit of a downtrend. Okay, so we got those bit of a high here, a lower high, and then a lower high and a lower low. And then on this day, March 28th, we put in a higher low. So then we switched to a neutral bias. And I said, over this, we're going to have to switch back to a bullish bias. The very next day, we got a gap up. If we're in a bullish bias, then the expectation is sell-offs will get bought. And since then, we haven't been able to switch to a bearish bias. And you can see what has happened since then. And so it has not been the most exciting market. It's been a very boring uptrend. Same goes for the SPY there. Let's go all the way back to the end of March here. And it's just been in an uptrend. At times looked a little bit weaker than the SPY, but every time support is held. So what does that mean for going into tomorrow? It means that we are sticking with the same bias that we've had for the last almost a month. 4 weeks, I guess. We can only kind of work with what the market gives us. Now, the good thing is that we have earnings, and this week should really pick up. So even from what I saw today, I think there is some indication that's what we'll get. I think last Thursday, because of the holiday, maybe there were some delayed moves. I know some people were able to play this SKX, gave this as an idea on the SKX, just as we were going to lunch here, right, to play underneath this 15-cent stop. I think it ended up maxing out somewhere short of 4 Rs, but I know some people traded it pretty well there on the SKX as it broke down underneath the whole number there. You can see on Thursday it got bought. And actually use this as an example. Because I was saying, well, if your bias was short on this SKX and you took a stop on it, I can understand. But we talked about when you would want to retry it, and I was saying how I just didn't see any good opportunities to retry. Right? I would have really liked if this had triggered actually in the morning as a breakdown. I did have an entry under the lows, but it never triggered, and it just rallied and rallied. And then today, small gap down and then got sold on a day where the market gapped down and got bought. So that weakness coming into the SKX today. So I did think today overall still kind of quiet, but did get some nice follow through. I thought we did a very good job of identifying the opportunities that were out there. AAL, nice sell setup from Sammy there on the AAL, and then also the Nike. I don't remember, someone in the room I think found this nice breakdown. Was a gap down today on the Nike. And then even the AAF, which I tried to get us into a couple times, and then just as I was kind of waiting for this to go into a downtrend, we were looking at some other ideas, and it quickly kind of came in. I was waiting really to see, okay, I knew that under 1250 we would have a stop, or we'd have the entry. I was just waiting for where were we going to get a stop. So kind of took my eyes off this one, started to move up, and then kind of came in, and when I saw it, it already triggered. So kind of my fault on that one for not keeping us on it and getting us into this play, because this play should have been pretty good. and was okay to stay in until the end of the day there. But I thought maybe just aside from that EAF, I thought for the most part we identified the best opportunities from today. MDSO as a rally off the lows. So again, we got a nice gap up on the MDSO, maybe a bit too big on the gap up. So you can see it had to retrace and then base at the lows and then closing up here. Even this little breakout here was mentioned as well. So we do have some decent names reporting after the close today and before the open tomorrow. So if not tomorrow, it picks up definitely Wednesday. Should be pretty active. So if you're looking for a chance to kind of get in the room and maybe have it pay for your membership or your trial pretty quickly, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to take advantage. I do typically, recommend for people looking to get started with the room, to join the room, to kind of get started, like last week or the week before. And I know we were running that promotion, so it was perfect. That way you can get familiar with how the plays are called, how they're managed, and things like that. But, if you're pretty familiar with stops, exits, management, and you're ready to jump in, you can really take advantage over the next week or so of the scanning and the ideas that are going to be coming out, because there will be a lot to work with over the next couple weeks. So, now's a really good time, I think, if you wanted to just get the most condensed amount of trading activity in a short span of time. Next few weeks should be pretty good. So definitely check out the link in the description to check out the promotional price that's going on. This really, I guess, is the way to get the most bang for your buck, because it's going to be pretty active the next couple weeks. Okay, so hope you did well today. If not, just keep your head up. We'll have plenty to trade in the next few weeks. It does seem like the follow through has been pretty good. Seeing a lot more all-day trends and power trends than we saw. Seeing some Climbos show up as well. So the strategies are showing up, and so should be pretty active. Should be pretty fun. All right. So hope you had a good day today. We'll see what the market brings us tomorrow, and then I will talk to you then. All right. Have a good evening.